State of emergency in Louisville, Kentucky. As we come on the air, protesters and police are clashing there. The National Guard is on alert, and the city is under a mandatory curfew after a grand jury decided not to indict 3 police officers in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor. The 26-year-old emergency room technician was shot 6 times in her apartment back in March by plainclothes police serving a drug warrant. Well, today, Kentucky's Attorney General said 2 of the officers were justified when they fired the shots that killed her. Now, a 3rd officer will face lesser charges, not for Taylor's death, but for firing shots into her neighbors' homes. The killing of Breonna Taylor gained renewed attention this summer in the wake of George Floyd's death, as cries of "Say Her Name" became part of a nationwide movement for social justice and police reform. She's graced the cover of O magazine, and her cause was championed by athletes and celebrities. And tonight, there is once again anger and frustration on the streets of Louisville from those who feel justice has not been done. There's a lot of new reporting to get to tonight. We've got our team of correspondents standing by. CBS's Jerika Duncan is going to lead us off tonight from Louisville. Good evening, Jerika.
Good evening, Nora. As the news spread, the number of demonstrators here at Jefferson Park grew. You can hear them chanting right now, "Black Lives Matter." Many of them said that the moment they realized that no officer was going to be charged directly with the killing of Breonna Taylor, tears were shed, voices raised. There was a wave of palpable disappointment.
This is why we are angry.
Immediately after the decision was announced, there was an explosion of emotion.
We've been out here for over 100+ days. This is ridiculous. You know, it's not fair. At the end of the day, like, how much is a black woman's life worth?
Demonstrators took to the streets. Late this afternoon, protesters clashed with police. As the chanting continued in Louisville, 50 miles away in Frankfort, Kentucky, Attorney General Daniel Cameron said he followed the facts.
Sometimes the criminal law is not adequate to respond to a tragedy.
The grand jury concluded former officer Brett Hankison, who wildly fired 10 shots, endangered the lives of 3 people who were inside an apartment near Breonna Taylor's. Officers Jonathan Mattingly and Miles Cosgrove, who fired the fatal shot at Taylor, will not face state criminal charges.
According to Kentucky law, the use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. This justification bars us from pursuing criminal charges in Miss Breonna Taylor's death.
Taylor was killed in the early morning hours of March 13th as police were executing a search warrant. Her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, says he believed the police were intruders. He fired a single shot that hit Mattingly. Police then returned fire, hitting Taylor 6 times.
Somebody kicked in the door inside my girlfriend.
Taylor's family attorney, Ben Crump, called the decision outrageous and offensive.
I mean, a life cut far too short. A life pregnant with possibilities.
Today's decision means no one will face state charges in Breonna Taylor's death, a fact that is fueling the crowd's response.
So many that are at home right now, minding their own business, and right now our police could storm through their doors and murder them. That wanton endangerment was about her neighbors. That was not about Breonna Taylor.
CBS News has learned that one officer who was charged was released tonight on $15,000 bail. Some protesters have been arrested, but this is not over. The FBI is still investigating this shooting for possible civil rights violations, but the conclusion of that investigation could take months. Nora?
Jerika Duncan in Louisville tonight. Thank you, Jerika.